What makes a judge a good one?
I think the first thing that makes a good judge is independence, not being swayed by political or public pressure. That takes some backbone.
You partly talked about independence, but apply it specifically to a ruling against the president or the executive branch generally.
No one is above the law in our constitutional system.
Stop the slaughter of our children over 7
Your advice is to waive.
My advice. Can a sitting president be required to respond to a subpoena?
Going with the Justice Ginsburg principle, which is really not the Justice Ginsburg alone principle. It's everyone's principle on the current Supreme Court. And as a matter of the canons of judicial independence, I can't give you an answer on that hypothetical question.
Trump claims he has an absolute right to pardon himself, does he?
The question of self-pardons is something I've never analyzed. It's a question that I've not written about. It's a question, therefore, that's a hypothetical question that I can't begin to answer in this context.
But, Judge, the clock is ticking.
It is.
The clock is ticking. 20-week clock is ticking.
And
she made the decision early in the pregnancy, and all that I've described to you and the judicial decisions, the clock is ticking. And you are suggesting that she should have waited to have a sponsor appointed who she may or may not have consulted in making this decision.
You said you are adding. I'm not adding. I'm a judge. The policy is being made by others. I'm deciding whether the policy is then consistent with Supreme Court precedent. There are two things to look at in this context, Senator. First, is the government's goal reasonable in some way? And they say we want the minor to have the opportunity to consult about the abortion.
You said that agencies like the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, amount to a headless fourth branch of our government, and that they, quote, pose a significant threat to individual liberty, end quote. So does it follow that you think that other independent agencies are also constitutionally suspect?
I did not say that the agency had to stop operating. It could continue operating, and it still operates. What my constitutional concern was the structure with the single member head, which had never been done before for an independent agency of that kind. And my remedy would not have been to invalidate the agency at all, but would have been to make that person removable at will. And then you could have, if you wanted, amended the statute to have a multi-member agency.
It is unprecedented for a Supreme Court nominee to be named by a president who is an unindicted co-conspirator. I would like your commitment that you will recuse yourself if there is an issue involving his criminal or civil liability coming before the United States Supreme Court.
One key facet of independence of the judiciary, as I've studied the history of nominees, is not to make commitments on particular cases.
I'm not asking for a particular commitment, and I'm going to take your answer as a no. It's really a yes or no question. You will not commit to recuse yourself. You will not commit to take yourself out of that decision despite the unique circumstances of your nomination.
You may disagree with this, but this is part of what I see as independence of the judiciary.
Well, I do disagree, and I am troubled and disturbed by your refusal to say that you will take yourself out of that kind of case.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.